back, everybody, to the SmallTown Collectibles YouTube channel. I'm Jimmy Don Kerr. My guest today is known by many names. You'll see him over on Whack Comics. You'll see Ready for Wednesdays. You'll see Shatterglass Comic Reviews. Very entertaining and creative guy. You'll also see him over on like Mark's channel, Legion of Comics. You'll see him on there. You see this guy all over the place. And he is currently the reigning champ of DJ Linx's In the Mix rap battle. Everybody join me in welcoming to 10 Questions, Tyler from Shatterglass Reviews.
That was quite the introduction. I guess it was destiny that we ended up doing this after the rap battle because we were originally going to do it before.
Yeah, no, ended up having a soccer game happen. Didn't know that my daughter had a soccer game, and we were supposed to record that evening, and I had to go to the soccer game because my wife had to go with my other daughter.
Yeah,
and so it just worked out perfectly. I mean, Tyler's been talking trash for 3 weeks, and I was watching the rap battle the other night before we get into the interview, and it was after it was over. You were like, people really thought I hated Biggie. I was one of them. Like,
really?
I legit DM DJ Linx and said, "Look, does Tyler really dislike Biggie, or is this like some wrestling promo hype? Like Biggie comes on his channel and they're just pumping this up." And DJ, of course, being the hype man that he is, said, "I really don't know, man. I don't know."
I know. He told me he said that.
He was like, "I don't know." But no, it was that was a lot of fun. DJ's got something good there. And Tyler just came in from the beginning and was like, "Dude, this is going to be easy. I'm going to smoke you fools." And it really kind of was. I'm not going to lie. You did a good job, man.
No, I don't know if it was easy. I had to work for my lyrics and stuff. Like I wrote them quickly, but I made so many changes because I made sure to watch everybody, and I already do watch everybody, but I wanted to make sure it was good and hit their channel as best as I could. But it's so funny because I got so many messages about Biggie too. Like, what's up with you guys? What did he do to you? What did he
Well, and you're the kind of smack talker that it's different. You're just like, "Yeah, I know, man. It's going to be easy." Yeah, okay. You're the kind of smack talker like would drive me crazy. Like I would be like, "Where's Tyler at? I'm going to kill him." And then, but no, with Biggie, because I like Biggie a lot.
Biggie's awesome.
A lot of people hate Biggie. A lot of people love him. Either love or hate him. But I love Biggie. I think he's awesome. So I really did for a minute. I was like, "My God, does Tyler really hate him that bad?" Is this? But no, it was totally wrestling promo. I loved it.
Yeah. We were just having fun. And part of the reason I was even able to do that, I tried to explain it in the rap battle, but I don't think I explained it well. All the guys are cool on there, so I can say stuff like that, and it can just be taken as fun. Like there's things you can are people you say stuff like that to, and they'll take it really seriously, or they won't like go with the flow and have fun with it. Like everybody on the rap battle was super fun and cool about everything and talking trash. It was super fun.
That was awesome, man. I mean, like, and you don't realize it, but just like Slot, I would see some of Slotted Up's lyrics before because we talk every day, and I was like, okay, Slot's going to bring it, man. Like he had some good lyrics. Remy had great lyrics. Like he even dropped a 10 Questions reference. I was like, yeah, Adrian APM was great. Like everybody was really good.
Oh yeah, it was a tough one. Everyone brought it. I can't imagine for the next one because from the first to the second one, I thought everyone stepped up. If everyone steps up again, it's going to be really tough.
Yeah, no, it was, man. It was a lot of fun. But congratulations, the champ is here on 10 Questions. It was, worked out perfectly, for Tyler and I to do this interview this way. So I'm pumped. So let's jump in, man. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm going to try to be ready.
Yeah. So question 1 is the same question I ask everybody. Like, what or who got you into comics?
Well, I'd say movies really got me into comics. So I'm really into movies, as you can see behind me. My whole childhood, all I would ever do is watch movies at home with my sister, with my family. It'd basically be like a weekly thing. We'd go like every Friday or Saturday to see a movie. And then my wife is really into movies. So we started, when we started dating, we'd go every Friday or Saturday to see a movie. You can't tell I'm nervous, right?
No, you're good, man. Keep rolling, dude. You're great.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm just so nervous being on here because I always watch this. I'm like, oh, my God, I can't believe I'm on here.
No, and that blows my mind that anybody would get nervous to talk to me. Like, it just blows my mind.
But I was just really into movies, and then obviously there came like The Dark Knight and all those movies. And a buddy of mine handed me Death of the Family. He told me to read it, and I read it, and I couldn't believe how much of a book it felt like. It didn't feel anything like I expected. Just like topical and no depth to it, just like another little Batman thing. But it was super interesting. So then I decided to go to the comic shop, and he told me a couple books to pick up. And I just immediately just dove in, got really deep into it. And from there, it's just history, I guess. You just start reading, and then you read a little more, you find out a little more, and you just keep going from there. And now here I am having all these, the long box that I bought that I said I'd never fill. And now I've got like 6 of them.
Right, that's how it happens, right? I said, and two, if anybody's watching this and you just heard my wife yell in the background, it is the middle of the day. Tyler and I, this is actually Memorial Day, Monday, and we finally got hooked up here. So if you hear my family in the background, that's what that is. So
Yeah.
FYI. But no, so like movie wise, like do you like old movies, or is it more kind of modern movies from your childhood? Like what kind of movies do you really dig? Is it just like superhero movies, or is it every genre?
It's every kind of movie, really. Like I like a lot of Christopher Nolan movies. I like a lot of like dramas with depth to them. But I do like some old movies, like It's a Wonderful Life. That's on my all time favorite list. I should have brought out my all time favorite list because I don't really believe in like top tens, because I don't have 10 favorite movies. I probably have more like 40.
Right,
right. I remember like when I was a kid, every time I would be sick, I would watch the Back to the Future trilogy. It was like every 2 times a year I was sick, I'd watch that. That would be my day off. So I love those kind of movies. Just older movies, newer movies, anything with like drama or something that isn't really like my life. I like sports movies. I'm really into sports as a kid, and yeah, just all kinds of movies. Anything that I think tells a good story. It's kind of like comics, really. It doesn't have to be something I'm interested in. It just has to be something that they bring to me and they've done well. Like that's all I want. Just something with a good story, good plot, good characters, actors, certain actors like Leo DiCaprio or Brad Pitt. I love both of them. I'm just
Dude,
in. Jake Gyllenhaal is one of my favorites too.
I love Jake Gyllenhaal too. I'm a big DiCaprio guy. The Wolf of Wall Street is like, I don't know how, but that is one of the best movies I've ever seen. Like, if it comes on, I will legit sit down and watch it every time I see it.
It's like it's an addictive movie. It's
It
so
is.
good.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I said I'm a big Jake Gyllenhaal fan. One that I liked, what was the movie that he did where he was the boxer? And it's really sad. Like it's, it starts out like it's going to be this big action, and then it takes you a completely dark direction. What was that called?
Southpaw?
Southpaw. Thank
Yep.
you. I love that movie. Like, and it is completely dark. Is it? Do you like that one?
Oh yeah, it's so good. I like almost anything he does.
Yeah, Nightcrawler was one he did too. That was insanely
I
dark. Like,
love Nightcrawler.
yeah,
And
that was insanely dark.
Prisoners. Prisoners is
Prisoners
one
is
I will.
great.
Oh my god, that one like basically had me and my wife like shaking on the way home. We decided that day that we don't know if we want kids too. That is a terrifying movie.
Yeah, no, it really is. Well, I like movies too. Like I'm a big superhero, movie, but I like all movies. And I found myself, and I don't know if this is because I'm getting old. I don't really know why this is happening, but like the old superhero shows, like yesterday, I sat and watched Superman, like George Reeves Superman, for like 3 hours. And and I would never do that before. Like I always thought they were campy or cheesy or whatever, and I just would never watch it. But I swear I watched it for like 3 hours yesterday, and I also find myself watching like Andy Griffith and stuff like that all the time.
Andy Griffith as a kid. I was a big like Leave It to Beaver fan. Andy Griffith, really, whatever was playing on those old timey shows. I didn't even think about that. All the old time shows, like Golden Girls and
Golden Girls. Like I was
kinds
at
of
the
stuff.
when I was at Disney World, this guy had on a Golden Girls shirt, and I was like, "Dude, I love that shirt." And he was like, "Are you being sarcastic?" And I'm like, "No, no, like I love the Golden Girls. It's crazy." So that's cool, man. So as far as you haven't collected your whole life, right? It was just one of those things where you were older and somebody introduced you to the book and Death in the Family, and you were like, "Oh crap!" So and then you started reading from there.
Yeah, I kind of figured even because I know my wife always said to me I should get into comics like since I started watching Iron Man and stuff like that. But I didn't know where to start. It's intimidating walking into a comic shop and seeing that wall. Like, where do you even begin? It's still intimidating sometimes for me, but now at least I know what's coming. Normally, like when I used to walk in there, I would walk in, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to pick up 5 comic books and I'm just going to read them. And then I see all these like number 7, number 420, and
Right.
like, which ones do I even pick up? Will I get it?
Well, for me, I was fortunate because when I got back into it, was around 16, and I'd been into it all my life as a kid, and then, like I said, as I like to say, I discovered girls and beer, and and kind of went away, during the college years, and then got married, and kind of come back to it. Really, my kids quit talking to me, and I needed something to do, and just so happened to walk in the comic book store. And that was when Rebirth started. It had just started, and I'm a DC fan, so that was a perfect place for me to jump in. And about 30 long boxes later, here we are, right?
I know a lot of people that have got in around Rebirth too. Rebirth was really good.
Mm-hmm. No, Rebirth was great because it kind of reset the whole thing, which I've gone back and reread or read the New 52 on the DC app. I've gone back and read a lot of those. But so, yeah. All right, question 2. Now, do you consider yourself a reader as far as comic books are concerned? Do you consider yourself a reader or just a collector? Because there are people who read and collect, but there's some people who just collect books.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So when I first started, the only reason I even got into Watt Comics, I was reading, and then I started reading more and more and more each week. I was like, okay, I would love to read more, but I don't know what's out there. So I looked on Twitter, and I want to say Facebook. I was looking for just like a quick reviews of books that I could read and figure out what to read next, and I couldn't find any. So I was like, well, I can do that. I just made a Twitter at Ready for Wednesday, and I just do like short, basically bite-sized reviews of comic books, and hopefully it helps get people to know what to read or what I like about the book, little things like that. And so basically it all started out as I was really just a reader. I didn't buy slabs. I didn't have any interesting keys at all, like literally at all. I was just reading. And then obviously as time goes on, then you get into YouTube, you see all these people with these cool keys. It's like, man, I would love that key. That's a cool one. Mm-hmm. Then you get a key, and then you, what's the next key? Then I read. So like some of my first slabs were that Ice Cream Man. Actually, I have 2 Ice Cream Man back there, and Saga, because I read them and loved them. So they weren't even really keys; it was just books that I loved. And then from there, it just it just
it explodes. It gets completely out of control.
I've got like, I don't even know, like 40 slabs that most of them I've gotten just in the last like 6 months or so, and it's just insane. It's
interesting how collecting works, because like I said, when I was a kid, I talk about my uncle a lot, and his was straight about the hustle, right? He collected, but he sold stuff to make a living. We live in a coal mining community, and coal mines were either on or off all the time. You either worked and made a lot of money, or you got laid off. It was just one of those things. So he had kind of developed that side hustle with ball cards and comic books and things like that. So how I grew up around it was the hustle of it, selling things, finding key books for cheap and then reselling them and making money. But when he would let me go with him, I would get to sit and read them. And so that's what kind of really developed the love for me. I'm about the story. But there are a lot, like he read books, but he read like old books, like Westerns, things that he liked. But I always find that as an interesting question, like what happens, because I've got a lot of really good books that he and I picked up, or he left to me, as we were, as I was growing up, and that's my main collection. And then I'll buy stuff and read it and hang on to it. And if it makes some money at some point, I'll resell it, depending on what it is. So yeah, but I always find that interesting. So you started doing Twitter first. So this is kind of around question 3. So you kind of started doing Twitter. You started doing the reviews, which I think is cool, because that was something I looked for when I got back into it, and I found pop culture philosophers that way.
Mhm.
I was looking for somebody to tell me what to read. Like I had no clue. Like you said, it's really, really intimidating to walk into the comic book store.
Yep.
There's 1,000 books there. You're like, what am I supposed to read? So you started there, but what led to YouTube? Like what drew you to the YouTube channel?
So when I started it, I thought about doing YouTube instead of Twitter, but I was like, I don't really think I have that much to say, and I don't want to do spoilers. So I think if I did a YouTube video, it would just be like really short, small little snippets, and I didn't think it was worth it. It was kind of like Two Brothers Comics were the ones that kind of got me into doing the reviews on Twitter. Not that they told me to, but they motivated me to actually want to do it. And so I had started doing that, and then Lee messaged me on Twitter. Lee from Whack Comics, you know Lee. If you don't, well, you should go check us out. You'll see Lee. And he messaged me, hey, you should come on and do the first live show with me. We just talk about comics. I see you read a lot. I said, sure. We jumped on there, and then we just talked, and then we just kept talking and talking and talking, like after the fact. And then he wanted me to do some Whack Comics episodes with him. And so then it just spiraled into Whack Comics. I'm just a part of Whack Comics now, and we do a lot of things that help the comic book community.
The first time I ever saw you guys was when you were doing that 24 hours of YouTube.
Oh, really?
Because I was following, yeah, that was the first time because, I was, DJ and I had become friends. DJ Linx and I had become friends. And I knew he was going to be on there. And I think Remy was on there. And that was really before I had found you guys. And then I started seeing all these crazy videos. What was one? It was the what did you call it? I can't remember. I'm blanking. I'm nervous.
The Slippy Fingers?
The Slippy Fingers, yes.
Yeah.
Like that was, that's been fairly recent, but that's one of the first things that like caught my attention. I was like, oh God, these guys are onto something. Like this is awesome. And so that really leads me to question 4. That was really one of my questions was how did you and Lee hook up? Like he's in Australia, right?
Yep. He's in Australia. I basically already said that. He just messaged me on Twitter, and from there we started talking. And then he basically just slowly convinced me to do some stuff. Like I did my first video, and it was awful. And he was like, "Hey, you should redo that and make it more whack. Like just have more fun with it." Which in real life, I'm just really sarcastic. So I was like, "All right, I don't think I can do it the way you're telling me to do it, but I'll just try to be more sarcastic." And so I did. The first video I ever did was the on sale Wednesday variants. Do you remember those?
I do. I remember. Yeah, I went back and watched it.
Yeah, I thought it was like the worst cover ever. So the first time I did, I was just explaining why I thought it was the worst cover ever. And I was like, okay, well, instead I'll act like it's the best cover ever. And I poured like fake acid on it, and all these things come out that are spoilers or different little pictures, and I drew on it and acted excited about it because I just hated that cover so much. So I guess that's what happened. It just started having fun, and then from there, it's kind of addicting. It's really fun, like just messing around. I think that's why I'm nervous because all me and Lee do is talk crap.
Yeah, and I'm not doing this like straight show.
So I'm just trying. All right, Tyler, just be normal. You can be normal for an hour. It's possible.
No, and that's fine, dude. You can act up. I don't care. Like it's one of the things. Like when you did the other day, I'm not a big commenter, right? Like I watch everybody's videos, but I'm usually driving when I listen because I'm on the road a lot, and then my work life is very, very high paced and stressful. So I don't get to do a lot of stuff like at work. So I usually listen to everybody as I'm driving, so I don't leave a ton of comments. But I watched yours the other day, your review of the Comic Tom 101 Mystery Mail Call. Mm-hmm. And I knew you had jumped in it because you're a big Something is Killing Children fan. And I knew that variant was coming. And I watched it. And that was, I swear to God, I laughed. The whole time I was like, this is hilarious. Like, I will never buy this again. This was all, it was wonderful. Like, and it's so refreshing because a lot of people, all of us, kind of start out doing the same thing. You're doing mystery boxes, and it all kind of grows into things like 10 questions and do comic book day and things like that. But watching that, it just gave me such joy. Everything that you guys do at Whack Comics just cracks me up. Like, it's so funny. Like, do you guys sit down and work up bits together, or is it something where you come up with your thing, Lee comes up with his thing, or like, how do you guys generally do that?
Well, before I say that, the one that you said, the Comic Tom one, I can't believe you liked that one. I thought it was such a bad video. I
Dude,
almost
I
didn't
thought it
even
was
post it
hilarious.
because I didn't have any interest in it. I was like, I don't have any interest in this box.
That's
I
what
don't
made
even
it
know why I'm
perfect.
unboxing it.
That's what made it so good. It was so funny. It's it's
Yeah,
whack comics. And so that's the kind of thing you kind of expect there. Like if you're watching this and you don't watch whack comics, like you are missing out. Like it is pure joy. That's all I can describe it as. It's hilarious. And then, when Tyler did that, like he said, he had no interest in the box at all. None.
yeah,
I mean, like zero. He literally bought the box so that he could get the next box because it has something killing the children in it. And that's the variant cover that he wants. And so, like, but it killed me. Like, I loved
yeah.
it. And I
That's
even
funny. I'm
commented
glad
on the
you enjoyed
video.
it. Yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
risked it all to comment while you're driving.
I did. I was like, oh, I got to do that. Hold on. So no, but no, I love that stuff. Like, so yeah, like the question I asked was like, do you all get together and work out bits, or or do you just work on stuff yourselves and then submit it and it gets posted?
Basically, normally we at least talk about it. He'll come up with an idea and shoot me the idea, or I'll come up with the same thing. And from there, we usually build on it. Like we always have initial idea, and then we build on it together. So sometimes that means that I'll be the only one that does the video, but he helped me in some way or the opposite. But usually we both work on it in some way. Like even sometimes he'll do the video and I'll do the thumbnail, or I'll do the video and he'll edit it. Especially the ones where I'm naked, I always make sure I send him those, so
Of
we can
course,
put the
right.
Two Brothers comics on there. Yeah, but so I guess we just work on it together. I'm trying to think of an example. Like Slippy Fingers, I came up with the idea for Slippy Fingers, and then he told me to get people involved. So that's why there were people in it talking about Slippy Fingers. That was his idea. So and I think that really like made it.
It did. It was so
It
good.
was I liked the idea, and then he said that, and then it came together. It was perfect. So
No, it's awesome, man. So you guys really were like, fast friends. He just reached out to you, and then all of a sudden you guys just hit it off. And that's one of the things I say. Like when I did my interview for 10 Questions, Gary B and Slot asked me, what's the one thing you would recommend? And I said, find your usual suspects, because that's what makes this fun. Is it's fun. It's weird to get on camera and talk to yourself. It's weird to do a mystery box video where you have zero interest in the box and you tell everybody that. But when you find somebody that you connect with, like you do with Lee or me with, Slot and Gary B and DJ and Remy and all the people that we've gotten to be friends with, I said, that's what makes it fun.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I feel like I have more friends now than I ever have, and it's just all people on YouTube. I'm not that I'm not a friendly person, but I don't make a lot of friends. I go to the same job every day. Like, who do I meet to even become friends with?
Oh, I have one friend,
Yeah,
that I see, and he's my best friend, has been since I was this tall. And we go to the Kentucky football games together. We've got season tickets. We go together every year. Outside of that, I work, and my family is my friends, my wife and my
yeah,
kids and my immediate family. And I have more friends now, and that's what I say all the time. That's why I say, like, there's a piece of me that I didn't know I was missing that I found doing this, and it's you, and and watching Whack Comics and all the guys that I've got to know. So it's a hoot, man. I love it.
yeah. It's funny because that we use the word friends. A lot of people don't use that word because I don't know. Maybe they just think it's weird, but it really is. It's like a friendship because I'm more friends with these people than I have been with a lot of people for a long time. I talk to them more. If I ever needed anything, I could message 10 different people right now and they would do something for me if I needed. And I would too for a bunch of my friends on YouTube.
Yeah,
Or
and
just
like I
that I've
said, it
met.
is. It's really weird because I'm old and I never dreamed that you could have friends that you actually didn't meet in a day to day basis. I've never met any of you guys in person, none of
Mm-hmm.
you,
Yeah.
but I consider you all friends, which is kind of weird and cool all at the same time. So, are you going to C2E2? Like, are you planning on trying
Yeah,
to
I
go?
am planning on going to C2. I have my hotel booked. I'm sleeping with Nick from Nick's Kicks and Comics. We'll be sleeping
I mean, we don't
together.
have to talk about that on here. You don't have to reveal that much information that you're sleeping with him.
Yeah, he was the one that got me the hotel. So,
So you got to
well,
sleep with him.
I guess we won't be in the same hotel room, but we'll be the same hotel.
Okay.
But you never know, you know.
Right. Fingers crossed. So question 5 is, and I like to ask these next 2 questions because I like to relate it to my journey as well. Have you had any negative experiences on YouTube?
Mm, I can't think of any off the top of my head negatively. We've had people message us and ask us like what we're doing, me and Lee. Especially in the beginning when Lee first started, there were people that did not like Lee messing up those books. But ever since, I feel like people either get it or don't tell us they don't get it. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's interesting. Like, I feel like when I got my first negative comment or first thumbs down that I'd made it. I've got one video that's got 23 thumbs downs, and I
Oh,
feel
really?
like I won. Yeah, it was the one where me and Taylor talked about franchise kicks bashing that Spider-Man booth. And all you got to do is put franchise kicks in the title. I've learned this. Put that in the title or hashtag it, and you'll get all kinds of views. That's by far my most watched video. But I've had so many negative things said about me and Taylor on that particular video. It's rather entertaining. So I wouldn't even call that negative. Like, I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of funny to me.
I guess we do get negative comments. I didn't even think about that. But because usually when we get negative comments, we'll either screenshot it to each other and laugh and then comment back to them. Like, we don't even think anything is negative anymore. We're having fun. So it's hard for me to feel like anyone being negative even matters because, like, we're just having fun. Like,
right. Yeah.
How mad can you be?
Right. Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying too, man. I'm just doing something that I like. I get it where, I'm a little more serious, obviously, than you guys are. But still, it's things that I do. Like, I'm getting ready to drop a couple of new segments, coming forward that'll be part of my weekly rotation. And it's what I always do anyway. Like, it's fun to me. It's things I already do. I'm just recording them now and putting them on YouTube, and maybe it helps somebody or somebody finds it interesting. So question 5 is this, and specifically for you, like, you're insanely creative, okay? Like, the stuff that you guys put out is very creative. It's very funny. The rap battle the other night, the lyrics you were dropping were really, really creative. Were you always creative? Like, the job that you have, is it a creative type job, or is this something that you just kind of you're nurturing through your YouTube journey?
I guess I never thought of myself as creative, like literally never in my whole life. I'm not artistic. I feel like I attribute that to art. Like, I can't do art, so I'm not creative. I don't know why, but it is. But I've always been really quick-witted. And so if somebody says something to me, I'll come right back with something somewhat witty. At least I think so. And I guess I use that same mentality for like writing those lyrics. Like, I was like, all right, what do I watch on there? What does Biggie do? It's like, oh, he just said to me the other day that his camera looks like a potato, so I'll use that.
Right. Well, and that's what I wondered, because like a lot of the stuff you guys do, like, DJ and I were talking, and he was like, I didn't know what to expect from you, right? You were talking trash, but I knew what you did on Whack Comics, and I was like, okay, this guy might actually bring it. Like, he may bring it. And you did, and it was like your lyrics were solid. It was good, and it was fun. You were having fun, and it was really cool. And I never considered myself a creative person at all. Okay, like, I talk, so 10 questions kind of works for me. I talk for a living. Mm-hmm. So this kind of works for me, asking questions. It goes along with what I do day to day. The creative part, which is editing videos and coming up with different things to do, I've never considered myself that kind of person at all. And I'm a little more of that than I thought.
Yeah, I had never edited a video in my whole life until I want to say it's this year, maybe like January or February. Lee had been editing all the videos, and I was like, I have to start editing a little bit, or maybe it was maybe it was December. Either way, it doesn't matter. And so I just took out like my free app on my phone and tried to edit, and it was awful, but I did it. And then as time goes on, I learned the different buttons, and like there's a split button to, like, there's a bunch of different buttons that I didn't know existed. I felt like an idiot that I didn't understand this simplest app ever. And now that I'm getting used to it, that kind of like snowballed into our Read Your Comic Books music video. So I edited
That was so
that,
good.
and I could have never edited that just even maybe 2 months before I did.
So
And
what app do you use? Do you just use like iMovie on your phone, or what do you use?
it's called, I'll look. It's on Android. It's called UCut Video Editor.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's just a free app. But yeah, like our music video, I came up with the idea at one night at work. I wrote all the lyrics for it for my part. I told Lee I wanted to do a music video, and he was down, but I didn't have any music. And Lee is musical. He can play guitar. He can write music. So he came up with like 2 or 3 different ones, and I hated all of them. So I said, no, none of those. And then he came up with another one finally, because I just felt like they weren't in time. And so he wrote the actual music part. I wrote the lyrics for me. And then he said he wanted to do lyrics too. So he wrote his part. And then we sat down. It took us like a little over 4 hours to record it, which he said is pretty slow, but not as bad as some bands he's actually been with. So I thought that was pretty cool. So we recorded it.
And that's what I'm talking about your channel. And I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, but that's what I'm talking about your channel is it's so different than what anybody, the people that were around. It's so different than what you made a music video about go read your comics. Like that's the stuff I'm talking about. That is so crazy.
Yeah. We recorded it, and then I was like, all right, now I got to start shooting video. So I got a day where I got to go out, and like I kind of have like a director's mentality. Like, where do I want the camera? What do I want it to look like? What do I want it to cut to for like the funny parts that I think should be funny? And I think it came out really well. I mean, there's things that I wish I could have added or made it longer, but overall, I'm really happy with how it turned out. And if I was an actual editor, it probably could have been even better, but it was so fun to make. And I don't think we'll ever put that much time into a video again.
No, that was fun, man. Like I said, I love it. It just kind of furthered my love for all things whack comics. So, yeah, I think that's great. All right, so question 7, and this is another question that I came up with probably 7, 8 shows ago that I've been asking everybody, and I think this will apply directly to you. So, you've got the big 2 companies, DC and Marvel, right? But everybody I talk to says that they are trending more towards indies than they are, the big 2. And I find myself doing the same thing. Like when I go pick my books up, the books I read first are generally my indies. I always read Superman first because I love Superman, but I read Superman first, and then I usually jump into my indie books. Why do you think that is? And I know you're a big Something Is Killing the Children fan. So like, why is that going down?
Yeah, well, so I'd say I'm more of an indie reader than anything else. Like I read some DC books. There are actually like more DC books that are amazing right now than I think ever since I've been reading. There's a ton of good ones out. But indie books I think are just passion projects. You can just feel the passion come off every page. Like this wouldn't exist unless this writer artist got together and made this. DC is like just stories that they ship out and tell people to make, and I think that's what it is. Like it's just beloved by the writer and artist and creators, whoever's involved, and you can just feel that on every page.
That's a great answer, and that's the first time anybody said that, but I think you're right. Because you're right, it is. That is their passion project. They've had this idea in their head for however many years, finally got the opportunity to make it. And it's because they're phenomenal. So what's your favorite indie book right now?
Oh, I have so many that I love. I could just read a list of like 50, I feel like. But Ice Cream Man has been one of my favorites for a long time. Something Is Killing the Children. I want to like actually look and make sure there's some I don't miss. Oh, Stray Dogs has been so good lately.
Stray Dogs has been so good. And I bought that on a whim, dude. Like I thought that, Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs meets Lady and the Tramp. I thought, well, I got to at least read that. And it is so good.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be that good. It's very Disney. The first issue was good, but then it just picks up steam. It's just been going like this. Some books don't do that. Like usually issue 1 is the hook. So
Yep.
sometimes like it never gets as good as issue 1. Well, this one has only gotten better. I think there's only 1 issue left, but Stray Dogs has been amazing. The last one was really dark.
Yeah, it was. No, yeah.
Another
So anything
one.
else? I was trying to think. Stillwater is one that I'm reading. Do you read it?
Yep. I've read Stillwater. The last issue I thought was very different, but I've loved Stillwater. It's such a good read.
Yeah.
Another
No.
one is Ultra Mega. Have you read Ultra
Ultra
Mega?
Mega's great. Yeah, Ultra Mega's great. Noctura or Noctera. I mean, I guess you consider that indie. You know, it's Scott Snyder, but I mean, he's one of your mainstream writers. But it's a really good book.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's definitely indie. Then there's all the Bad Idea books. Those have been all right. Geiger. A lot of people seem to like Geiger.
I like Geiger.
Many.
Nuclear Family, I really like.
Yeah, I remember you saying that last time. I read issue 1, but for some reason I didn't get issue 2. I don't think my shop got any.
Yeah,
That
and it's
happens
one
at
of
my
those
shop.
too
I
where
go
it's
to
gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a completely weird turn. Like it went a completely different direction than I thought it would, and it's pretty interesting. I dig it. Geiger's good. I like it. I was trying to think if there's anything else I was reading that I really liked. Because I read a bunch of
Maniac of New
like you.
York.
That one I have not read, and everybody says that's
Oh
really
my
good. I have
god,
not read an
it's
issue of
so
that.
good. It's so good. You have to read that one. That one I'd put it like one of the top of my list ones right now.
No
I
kidding.
think
All
there's
right, I'll
only
have
one
to.
left.
Is that right? So I can probably pick up
Yeah.
a trade or something. Yeah, it was a. I've heard DJ talk about it. I think I've heard you talk about it. I've heard several. I just never did grab it. My local shop didn't get it, so I just never picked it up. And I'm like you. The Bad Idea books, all those have been good so far. I didn't really care for Tankers. It was okay, but it was my least favorite. I really like ENIAC. I think that one's a good one. So, all right, question 8. What do you believe is the biggest challenge to the comic book collector today?
Biggest challenge. I guess for me right now, probably either spec, because there's every once in a while there'll be books out that I've just expected to pick up and I can't get them unless I want to go spend $20 off the day one, which I don't because I already spend too much money, or just the boom of the market right now that everything's going up. It can be like either a minor key or a non key. Just an issue number 1 goes up to like $200 graded for no reason, and it should be like 70. Everything's just more expensive, and that's not that big a deal unless you want to get like 5 of them. Then it all adds up really quickly. So you have to be really choosy on what you want.
Yeah, you really
That's
do, and you got to be
yeah.
quick. Like, have you started using like the pre-order? Like I have gotten to where like I really get into the book and try to figure out what I want to order and pre-order everything that I think I really want, because you're right. Otherwise, dude, day of it'll be $25 on eBay.
Yeah, I try to pre-order everything I possibly can. Like, there's a book coming out this week. I think it's called Everfrost by Ryan K.
Mm-hmm.
Lindsay. Who
Yep.
knows if it'll be anything, but I know it's a low print run. Like, I'm really excited about it, but I was not going to pre-order it. And then Lee told me about it because he had done an interview with him. I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to pre-order it because you just never know. And sometimes it'll be books like, what is the one from Mad Cave? The Robin Hood one? That one just blew up out of nowhere. There's no
Nottingham.
spec. Yeah, Nottingham. That just blew up. I don't know. I guess it's good, but it's an expensive book. There's no movie coming out about it or show. It's just expensive. So you don't know.
I guess low print run, like that book that I really liked was Hot Valley Days and Cocaine Nights. I don't know if you read that one, but it's only a 3-book series, dude, and you'll have to pay $120 on eBay right now for the 3 books.
Oh my God. I hadn't read that, but that's just crazy. Yeah, it must be low
It's really
print
good.
or
It's a
just
true story about a lady who became. It's like the female version of Blow, the movie
okay.
Blow. It's like the female version of that. It's really good. It's a true story.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
All
I'll
right,
have to check that one
question
out. I heard
9.
DJ talking about that one too.
Yeah, so let's do question 9 now, and this is
Okay.
just more. The last 2 are generally softball questions. So, but it's something I'm interested in. Are you a pretty big sports fan?
Yeah. I used to be a really big sports fan as a kid, but I still am for sure.
Like who are your favorite teams?
I'm a Colts fan, a Cubs fan, Notre Dame fan, and a LeBron James fan.
LeBron, the man. I went and saw LeBron play once. He upset me over this the police thing that he did, kind of the cancel thing. It kind of upset me for whatever reason. I didn't like that he did that. And I've always kind of been a LeBron supporter. I went to Cleveland one time. My daughters had a dance competition there, and the Cleveland was playing, so I went and watched LeBron play. Like I sprung for some big tickets so I could go watch the King play. I got to watch Tim Duncan and Tony Parker play too, so I was pretty happy.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, so Notre Dame, big fan. Like I'm not sure exactly where you live as far as your locale in the world.
I live about 2 hours from South Bend, so about 2 hours from
Nice.
Notre Dame. Yeah,
Well,
I've probably been to like 30 plus Notre Dame football games in my life. I used to go to at least one a year. I haven't been for the last 2 years because of the situation, but
it's a bucket list thing for me is to come to South Bend and watch a game.
oh yeah,
Um, yeah, it's like I want to see touchdown Jesus. I want to see, like I want that is because I'm a huge sports fan. Obviously, I'm from Kentucky, so Kentucky basketball. You're just kind of born to, when you're born, you're a Kentucky basketball fan. It's just how it is.
yeah.
I'm a big football fan, but yeah, Notre Dame. That is definitely one of my bucket list things. So now I'll know that I can call Tyler and we
Yeah,
can come
you
to Notre
should.
Dame and I can go and I can check off two things off my list, right? I can meet Tyler and go to a Notre Dame game.
Yeah, you definitely should. It is a blast. Like, especially if you've never been there, it'd be really nice to go with somebody like me that have been there so many times and like can show you everything. Because it's a big campus. Every big school is a big campus, I guess, but it's just so cool. There's so many little things like the grotto and Touchdown Jesus, and then just the bookstore and then all the history throughout the entirety of the campus is so cool.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome. Like that, you're right. That would be awesome to have somebody that actually knew where to go and could show somebody like me, hey man, here's what you got to check out. Here's where they filmed Rudy. Whatever.
Oh yeah, so many good places.
Yeah, so I think that would be a hoot. Why the Cubs? Why a Cubs fan?
I mean, we're in Indiana, so there's no Indiana baseball team. So it's like Cubs or Reds, Indians. My grandpa was an Indians fan. My dad was a Reds/Cubs fan. I don't know. I just kind of grew up liking the Cubs, watching them. I especially liked them when I was in high school, and they had like Alfonso Soriano and Derek Lee and Kerry Wood. Like they had some good teams then. I want to say that has to be it, but I was just such a big baseball fan. I know. I think one of the big reasons is Sammy Sosa, but at the same time, I loved so many players around that time that used steroids. So I don't know.
Yeah, right. Well, that was really at the time. I mean, you think about that because I was, I think I was in high school, maybe college when that was going on. I can't remember exactly when that was going on. The home run chase with him and McGuire, and and it was so crazy. But everybody watched baseball then. Everybody. I don't care. I used to fly a lot, and you'd been in the airport, and if one of them were up batting, everybody in the airport stopped and watched it.
Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, and then Barry Bonds. I loved Alex Rodriguez, Ken Griffey Jr. Like, there's just so many good players from that era. It was maybe it was just the era. I love baseball. Like, I played baseball forever, from like 5 to 18, and then I coached baseball for another 5 years. So it's just like ingrained in me to love baseball. But I guess I never thought about why I like the Cubs. Like, you just kind of pick a team and then you go with it forever,
Well, I know you're right because I know for me early on it was the Braves because we had 5 channels and one of them was TBS, and I'm one of the Dale Murphy generation. Everybody that loved Dale Murphy, I'm one of those kids because everybody had to watch the Braves because Turner Network was the only thing on, and the Braves sucked. I mean, like they were awful. But I loved them. And then Cincinnati is the closest to us. I can be in Cincinnati in 2.5 to 3 hours. So we go up a lot and watch the Reds play. So the Big Red Machine was my parents' team. And so And so I'm probably a Reds first now and then Braves second, unless you're talking Dale Murphy. So I always like to know why people have their fandom, of different teams.
Yeah.
So
we're not that far away from each other. That's about how far Cincinnati is from me. I'm just going this way or whatever.
You're going this way instead of, Well, that's cool. We're definitely not that far from each other then.
No.
Because, Louisville is probably right at 3 hours for me.
Oh, okay. I won't. It's further than that for me. It's got to be 5.
Yeah, so you're probably up this way then. Yeah, because Louisville is like, I'll be going to Louisville in September. Louder Than Life is coming. Metallica's headlining 2 nights, so I guess I'm just going to have to stay the weekend.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg's playing. I'm going to have to watch Snoop Dogg too. So I'm going to have to go every night, I guess, and watch them
I
all.
guess.
So
Yeah, it sounds
yeah,
rough.
it's awful. All right, last question. I'm interested to know what channels you watch on YouTube. Like, I know you watch 10 Questions because you comment every single week. So, and I appreciate that. But what other channels do you watch, and maybe somebody that I should be reaching out to interview?
I actually wrote some down because I watch a lot. Look, kind of like how you watch when you're driving, I watch at work. So I had to write some down. Some of them you already did 10 questions with, but some of them you definitely haven't. So I watch Legion of Comics, and I'm on there a lot with the Comic Vet and Ryan, new guy. Those would all be great interviews. Burke Family 54 Comics, and I know you're in the Burke fan with me. Burke's awesome. Two Brothers Comics, and I know you already interviewed Dustin. Cardboard Crazies, that'd be a fun one because Chris is doing a 24-hour stream coming up.
Yep.
And Nick's Kicks and Comics, Bueller, Comic Tom, Jim Mint, Freaky Louie, Actual Dracula, DJ Linx, Remy Q. I have a big list of people I watch. This isn't even all of them. It's crazy to me because I was going off the top of my head thinking like, who do I watch? And I wrote them all down. I was like, this isn't even everyone I watch, and I'm gonna have to stop. Biggie Shack slotted up, Adrian APM, Panda Awesome, 316, Sparks Comics, JoJo from Flicks and Comics, Cup of Comics, Scott Shelf, Just a Rican, who you just did, Not Near Mint, and everyone on Not Near Mint is awesome. It's like a slew of people, and Lee's on there sometimes too. Chaos and Comics, Comic Burrito Boys, Simple Simon, Very Gary, Bearded Comic Bro, Team Nerdy, Bruce and Stephanie, No Good Comics, Southern Comic Geek, who you just did, Chip Getler, Mark Spector Comics, and obviously Lee from Whack Comics. You got to do him at some point too.
No, Lee's on my list because I find him insanely interesting as well. Like, I've had you down for a while. Like, I've got to talk to these guys, right? As far as, because I love what you're doing, and it's so different than what everybody else that I watch is doing that it just really stands out to me. And so you're one of the few channels that, like, I've gone back. Normally I pick a new channel up and I just watch, from that point forward. Yours channel is one of the very few that I've gone back and actually watched, the old videos.
That's cool.
Just to see to see what you guys have done, because like I said, it's just different and I dig it. So, man, I appreciate you coming on here. Like, I know you said you were nervous. Like, I was kind of nervous too. Like,
it was probably because of me. I was giving off nervous energy.
No, I'm a fan. Like, I'm a fan of yours and Lee's, and I enjoy what you guys do. And then after you just slayed everybody the other night on the rap battle, I was like, oh God, he's gonna get on here and like tear me up. But no, but it was a lot of fun, man, and I appreciate it. And I just want to tell you, like, keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep having fun. If that's what you're doing, keep doing it. Keep having fun, because you guys got a good thing going on over there.
Yeah, I appreciate it a lot, man. I know, like I said earlier, some people don't dig us. Some people are big fans. It's kind of like you got to pick one with Whack Comics. There's no in between. Like, I don't really. Well, you either like it or you don't. That's all it is.
Yeah, and the thing is like, I know Dale Earnhardt. I'll show my hillbilly roots here. Dale Earnhardt used to tell Jeff Gordon, because Jeff Gordon was upset because people were booing him, and he said it doesn't matter as long as they're making noise. And so, and that's the kind of thing, like, I see that for you guys. I see that with Biggie Shack. As long as they're making noise, that's all that matters. That means you're doing something intriguing. So, yeah, everybody go over. I'll put links to all Tyler's stuff, down in the description below. But if you're not, and you like fun content that's different and it's comic book related, go over and watch these guys. They're a ton of fun. The last thing for me, Tyler, I'd like to tell everybody, because I still have the discount code going with Street Level Hero LA, and that's STC10. That'll get you 10% off your order over there. But most importantly, 25% of your overall order is done donated to the American Cancer Society, and it's done really well. Like, it surprised both me and JPG how well it's done. So we're just going to keep rolling with it. As long as people keep using it, keep using the code, we're just going to keep going and keep raising some money. So, guys, Tyler from Whack Comics, Shattered Glass Reviews, ready for Wednesday. Go check him out. You will not be sorry. It will bring joy to your life. Tyler, thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I had a blast.
Cool, man. Guys, as I end these things, until next time.